And boom, boom, bam, we're live. Man, sorry. Emotional day for me. We have got a bunch of people out there already. Hey, Freddie, you're out there.
Hey, I'm out. Oh, I'm in the chat.
I think all of y'all are out there except for me.
we were trying to make excuses for you, Stan.
The story of my life anymore. That's the story of my life.
Fast and late.
So we got Dustin. Hey, you were the first one in the house, my friend. Thank you. Weed hoppers out there. Team Snagging Whiskers again. Chad's out there. S&T, Steve Ransom, KY Redneck. Trying to go through. I'm sure I'm going to miss a bunch because Tanya Hollis is out there. There's all kinds of stuff, there's all kinds of stuff going out there in the catfishing world right now. And P&B, Paul Boyd's out there. I'm just scrolling through. LG Bass. I know I'm going to miss people. Dale's out there. Well, I'll try to catch up some names as we're going. But obviously today, it's the 11th day of the 11th month. And that's November 11th. And the reason that that's important, because that was when Armistice Day, the original, before it was changed to Veterans Day, it was on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour.
That's right.
When it was actually, I think, the end of World War I, if I'm correct, when it was all announced. Correct. And now it's turned into, the Veterans Day as we know it. And as you can see, bam, 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 look at those. You got Dustin down there, Team Snagging Whiskers. Look at that uniform down there. You got and Dustin, you were Army, if I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
And of course, right below me, we got my brother Freddie. You can no mistaking the Navy uniform back there. We got Daryl off over here. Look at that. And Daryl, that's a first of all, I love your hats. I love the hats. That is just an amazing with the American flag on half the bill right there. Yeah. And what a unique flag you have right back there behind your head. I believe that's only, if I counted it right, that's only 48 stars there.
Exactly. 48. And there's a story behind that. And later on, when you guys get, I'll tell that story. But it's a neat thing that the way I came about this flag also.
And as hard as I tried today. Well, thank you, man. Everybody's just out there with the Happy Veterans Day and the thank yous, and that's everybody out there deserves that, and that's what tonight's kind of about. I started out my day, and this is my favorite. This is my favorite catfish clothing hat.
I think mine's out in the truck.
But
I do have my other one.
There you go.
Which
I love that hat, Freddie. I love it.
It's a mad cat. I love the colors.
I started out my day today going to my granddaughter's school. They had a, God bless, New Kent, middle of nowhere, Virginia County. They did a awesome Veterans Day. We started out with a Veterans Day breakfast. The kids got to come down with their veteran family and have some breakfast, and then they did a whole, oh my gosh, there was tears coming down the face the whole time. They did a whole assembly where they had chorus and band, and they had the Boy Scouts come up with present the colors, and whoo, to see history being taught the right way. Man, I'm sore up about it.
Those things, being at, whether it's your kids, your grandkids, nieces, nephews, when you get to go to attend those, especially for us veterans, it'll tear you up in the heart. But every time,
absolutely.
All my girls I graduated and everything, and my son's homeschooled now. So this year I didn't get to go to an assembly or anything, but every year that I did, you walk in there, as soon as they started their assembly, it was like tears. And through the whole thing, it was a tear coming. So it's, to me, it was an honor, and it was humbling, to see the support that for the most part, that us veterans still get from the communities out there, especially the catfish community, for one, to rally around us veterans. It touches that heartstring and pulls on it. I'm actually kind of tearing up just thinking about it from the support that we've getting from the rest of the community that couldn't serve, didn't serve, but still show that support to us. And it's truly an honor.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Hey, Lance, cool guys out there. Rod Knocker saying pushing that patriotism button. That's always been I was going through it, and Brian asked, us for a couple pictures, Freddie, and I was I was in during the 80s, and we didn't have the cell phones. I mean, if you wanted pictures back then, you had to carry around a Polaroid, or there was also, it was like birthdays, right? You remember back then, it was birthdays, things like that. You didn't just have a camera hanging around like we do now. Everybody's got it on their phone, but
yeah, and that's the same with me. I've got a lot of old ones that were done and stuff, the old style on paper and parchment and stuff that it's in a box somewhere. I don't know where it is. So the only ones I had was that were out there that I could quickly give them was from the last 2 to 3 years I was in.
Yeah, well, and God bless you, my friend. You were there. You did the whole tour. I mean, you were lifetimer, right?
20 years. I made it the full 20 and retired. So
God bless you. God bless you. That's I did my first service. They had that camera with the fire on top. That's true. It was like, the guys under the thing goes, hold on, poof, and that was exactly. And I even went to my mother's house, and she was even looking around, and she's like, they're in a box somewhere. Mm-hmm. And they always said that I looked exactly like my uncle, and he was in, and a lot of military. You have a lot of if you're military, a lot of your family is usually military, and we were going over that today, and they said I looked exactly like my uncle. So my mother's like, I know I've got the picture of you with Uncle Robert, which was her brother. Mm-hmm. And like I was Air Force, though he was Army, but it was like how is somebody in both branches at the same time? Like that was the whole, and she couldn't even find it. So I wasn't able to find any pictures for Brian, but Bobcat says I was in Stan, you were in the Civil War? No, I joined right after that ended. Right after the Civil War ended. That was
I got one picture I found when I was at boot camp.
Oh, Mr. Bad Boy.
Oh.
Wow, look at those. Look at the gun. I don't know what I'm more impressed about, the guns or the hair.
I was thinking the hair myself.
I was 18.
And wasn't scared of nothing, right?
Oh, I was scared of a lot of things.
Well, at least you were 18. I was 17. A dropout, got a GED, went to boot camp, and then a week later, go to my first duty station. They say, you're going to Bahrain. You're going to help pull out from Desert Storm, Desert Shield. What? Wow. Never been out of the state of South Carolina and then go from South Carolina to California to Bahrain.
Oh, wow. These getting worse because that was Revolutionary War. Yeah, that's crazy, Freddie. Because I remember even when I went in at 17. I graduated a year early in June, and I think like June 25th or into June, and by July 7th, I was gone boot camp at 17, and I didn't, that was peacetime when I went in, and but even that, it was like, what a culture shock, man. You go from, you think you know everything, nobody's telling you what to do. Well, you hit boot camp, and that ends quick.
Yeah, I enlisted when I was 17, the early enlistment program.
Yeah.
And then I graduated in May of 98, and then I left on my 18th birthday. I flew into boot camp on my 18th birthday.
Wow.
That's the best birthday present the Army got, right?
Yeah, that big shot right in your backside. The peanut butter shot. That was the best present I ever got.
And just for everybody out there, the link is out in the description. We started out with everybody see up on screen here, but we're starting out with Veterans Day and that. But of course, we always going to get to fishing and things like that. But God bless you. Thank you, every single person out there that has helped protect this country, that has been family members that have helped protect this country, everybody that just believes in the rights that we have in this country, because that allows us to be up here doing this thing we love, talking about fishing, talking about each other, our wonderful family that we have out here. Without the wonderful people, and I include first responders, your police, all that kind of stuff. They're serving this country too. Without everybody in that whole group, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. So,
most definitely.
Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone.
And for us veterans, we have to thank everybody out there for their support. Without our family members, our friends, pushing us and helping us through our time in the military, it would have been a struggle for us to get through it. So we got to thank, even though it is our day, I always say when I'm out there and somebody says, thank you for your service, I'm like, no, thank you for the support. So even though it is our day, it's we still, us veterans, I know Dustin does it, Stan does it, and I myself do it. Somebody thanks me for my service, I'm always stop and say, thank you for supporting me in my service. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, along, like I said, with the catfish community, but a lot of your other communities out there are starting to support and do things for your veterans, like veterans tournaments. And luckily enough, I'm in the process. I make my wood burnings, and we got a local tournament coming up at the end of this month for one of the locals. So, and it's a striper tournament. So this is the trophies I'm actually working on right now. So
nice.
Pretty cool, and humbled and honored for them to ask me to do it. They usually go with a different company to get their trophies made, but because they knew I was a veteran and something to deal with the veterans, they asked me, being a veteran, to actually make those. So that was pretty cool as well.
Nice.
And I see Stan's off the screen. He's a little teared up right now. I know, it gets emotional for each one of us differently. I tear up a couple times a day. So I know when I speak for all veterans, it was an honor and privilege to do what we did, wherever we did it at. But it's also humbling to know the support we have from the communities.
Yeah, I grew up when I was young. It was the Vietnam War, and people didn't support that war. And my dad, he couldn't be in the military because of health reasons, and he was just so upset because I think I'm probably older than you guys are, but the way they treated the veterans over there, the people over there that was, go ahead, say what you're trying to say. The way they treated those soldiers when they came back, and it's bad. It was really bad, and they took a beating over there. And I know all those guys. We had neighbors and stuff that was in the military that just got treated like crap because of that war. And
you still have those groups and certain people out there in the world today that still do that. Each war and each conflict, when the veterans come home, there was groups out there cheering them and hooting them and thanking them, but you also had other groups on the sides booing them and cackling at them and things like that. And the unfortunate thing, you're always going to have that. But the majority of us veterans, we took it with stride and just move along and keep going.
I'll tell you how patriotism was back then, and people may not like this, but I'm just going to be straight up and honest about it. My dad, to the day he died, would not watch Jane Fonda on any TV program or anything she ever did, because what she did during the Vietnam War. I mean, he was a straight up patriot.
Daryl, he wasn't the only one.
And he was like, anytime that come on, turn the TV or shut it off, or I'll throw it out in the yard. I'm not watching that. And that was always engraved in me. And I'll tell a story a little bit about this flag here. This is 48.
Tell us about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's 48 stars. Well, I don't know how many people know it, but in 1959 is when Alaska and Hawaii actually joined onto the United States. This flag is older than that. And the reason I can tell you this is not a remake, when I was 10 years old, my dad was a carpenter, and he used to remodel people's houses in Atlanta. And we went to remodel one of their houses, and we were up in the attic. And all those whole houses in Atlanta would have like double wires. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen how wiring used to be. These 100-year-old houses would have two wires run on conductors. And we were in there putting the new wiring in and stuff. And up in that attic was this flag. And it was an old man. And I brought it down. And I said, this flag only has 48 stars. I was only 10 years old. Daddy didn't even know I had grabbed it and went. And he goes, yes, sir. He said, that flag's older than you are. He said, I've had this for many years. He said, here, son, I want you to have it. And he gave it to me. So I've had this since I was 10 years old, and I always keep it put up. You can see it's dingy now. It was dingy when I got it, but I always kept it out a lot. But Daddy told me, he said, son, you cherish that flag. That man gave you a flag that he could have held on to and, might be worth something someday, and he's given it to you. And I've always held on to it. But yeah, I remember the Vietnam War. I was about 10 years old when it was really winding down, and man, it was sad to see, and it's vivid in my mind just because how things will remind you in your mind that happens like that. And I just remember all the conflict. We had conflict in Vietnam, but then there was just bad conflict here, and we have that today, but I'd never want to see it go back the way it was back then. It was. We didn't fight that war right, and everybody will admit that. But those was our boys over there, our American men over there, and women over there, and they were treated horrible. And I don't ever want to see anybody treated that way again. I want to say thank you to all the veterans. I never was in the military, but I've always tried to be patriotic. I fly a flag out on the front of my house all the time, and we all need to say, I even put in a post today. Not God bless America, but God please bless America, because we need prayer back in our country the way it used to be, because our country is getting stiff-necked, and we need to get back the way we used to be, where we'll be great again.
Whew.
And if I offend anybody, I just offended you. That's just the way it is. We really need that for sure.
Well, the guest speaker at today's at the assembly that I was at today, he said it right. If that the people didn't serve, the people serve, but not only them, their families serve, because I was late tonight, and I try to make it up every day to my family, because I had to put them second to the country, and that it's not always easy to do. Like, you sign up, you say, okay, I am no longer a person. I am government property. You can do with me what you will. And that's he said, if you talk to everybody in the military, they will have some story about the UCM. We've all been in trouble for something that was just. I got in trouble one time for destruction of government property because I fell asleep on the beach and got a little too hot. I've destroyed government property.
Yep.
So that's that's how you're kind of treated, and that's kind of. But you sign up for that, and you raise your hand, and that's what you are. And there you go. Chad is saying his daddy served in Vietnam. And by the way, the link is out in the chat. The link is out in the description. If anybody else wants to come up, any veterans want to come up, or anybody wants to come up that wants to thank a veteran in their life, that's what we're starting out with tonight. We'll see where it goes from there. I'm sure eventually we'll talk about catfishing and stuff. But I was just so impressed with. There you go. There's Lance said, I've had family in the military forever. Never joined himself, but kept my word to my one great uncle on his deathbed not to join, because he said they don't treat the boys like they used to.
Yep, definitely. And like you said, Stan, we couldn't have done it without our family support. And like me, 20 years in the Navy, and pretty much Nina was with me the whole time. We didn't get married till I was a couple years in, but she was there through thick and thin the whole time. We met before I went in, so she put up and had to deal with being second to the military for 20 years. And then also my kids had to do the same thing. Growing up in the military, it was daddy's going here, daddy's going there, daddy's gone for a while. And so a lot of sacrifices us veterans did when we had kids and spouses is, we lost a lot of their lifetime. My girls, I probably only got to see about half of their time growing up from being gone and things like that. And then, that takes a toll on your family. Me and Nina had struggles, here and there, especially when we first started out being young in the military, young married couple, and then turn around, go somewhere, do this, do that. But, through it all, she stuck with us, and but she even made this wreath right here that, we put out during the time of the year, so a big supporter, our spouses, she loves making these wreaths. So I had to she wanted me to put it up there. So,
and there's Greenwell fishing out there. Mike, you're more than welcome.
And then, of course, I brought my beautiful Navy uniform with me to hang it up behind me tonight. So there's a little bit of what we call chest candy up there.
You got a couple more ribbons up there than I had, Freddie.
Well, you figure after 20 years and going through a bunch of conflicts and things like that, you'd rack up a couple.
You've got a lot more than me too.
Well, again, 20 years worth. I should have a couple more than that, but like Stan said, you sometimes get in trouble in the military. that might cost me an order to. I'm just saying. I am hard-headed. There is sometimes when you say no and you're supposed to say yes. I'm not saying it did cost me, but it probably cost me a couple extra ones. It should be up there.
Let's see. S&T's got a question. For us that were in, where were you guys stationed? Well, I started basically everybody in the Air Force, which is, we're considered the weak part of the, because we kind of hang back. We work on the planes and the jets and that stuff and send the officers out there to drop the bombs and do all that stuff. But, we all start at Lackland Air Force Base, and then we go to our tech schools. Mine was I started out in Lowry Air Force Base, Colorado. Man, what a beautiful, it was Colorado in the Denver Mountains. I know, Dustin, you're familiar with that area. And it was just beautiful. And then I went to Homestead Air Base in Miami, Florida, which is no longer, thanks to a hurricane, that's no longer even in service now. And from there, I went to Moody Air Force Base, Georgia. I went temporary duty. I was over in Ramstein Air Base in Germany. That was an unbelievable trip out there. But my main base for the majority of time I was in was Moody Air Force Base in Valdosta, Georgia. And Freddie, you touched on it a little bit. Why don't you let everybody know where your tours were at?
Well, we'll stay on the state side. I'll just mention that I did go overseas quite a few times during a couple conflicts, and I spent a lot of time down in South America doing some other type of conflict. So take that what you will. I won't go into details on it.
Well, I didn't bring any of that other stuff up.
but as far as stateside, I started out in California in Point Magoo Weapons Station. Then I went to Atlanta, to Millington. Let's see. Then I went up Maine. Then I went to Tennessee. Then I went to Virginia. Then I came back home. I joined in South Carolina and I retired in South Carolina. Funny thing, I went through MEPS at Fort Jackson in South Carolina, and I retired at Fort Jackson in South Carolina on an Army base. Go figure, right? A Navy guy going in and coming out on an Army base.
Everything happens on an Army base.
What?
Said everything happens on an Army base.
I know, right? But yeah, if you hear me say I've been there, done that, I've probably been there and done that.
And Big Wrench, you're more than welcome. The link is out in the description. Also, Rhonda had posted that. Like I said, any veterans welcome to come up, or even if you want to come up and just thank a veteran in your life, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Dustin, how about yourself?
Well, I didn't have a storied career. I didn't have a career in the Army, but I spent 4 years active duty. I started out at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for basic training and AIT because I was field artillery. I was actually a forward observer. And then I went to Fort Riley, Kansas, and that's where I spent all of my tour there was in Fort Riley. The only deployment I got was I went twice to California to NTC, the National Training Center. So I had a chance to go to Germany, but a friend of mine was getting ready to get out in 6 months. And I still had a year and a half left. It was war games over in Germany. And I said, look, you go, I'll have another opportunity. Never had another opportunity. So he got to go though. So that was good. I'm glad he got to do that. But also I would be amiss if I didn't thank my cousin, Brad. He joined the National Guard because I told him it might be a good idea. We were around the same age. Matter of fact, I bought this uniform right here, brand new, just before I got out of the Army to go to his graduation for basic training.
Yeah, that's right. You pay for your uniforms.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
You issued the first one.
Yeah. Yes, and you pay for the insignias to be sewn on, and you pay for all that. You pay for the upkeep of them. Yes, that's
and it's not cheap.
No.
I got this right before I got out, so I wore it one time.
Dominic, you're more than welcome. We'd appreciate you coming up. That would be awesome. Dominic says I went to second AIT in Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
He might be. He still might have a couple of lumps from Tanya. From the.
So what I was saying was, I talked my cousin into joining the Army. He joined the National Guard. Not long after that, he got deployed to Iraq, and he was over there for a long time. And he was he ended up coming back and was the best man in my wedding back in 2005. But he definitely hasn't been the same since. He's got PTSD really bad. He was a combat medic in Fallujah. So, and he won't talk about anything, but
yeah, there's a lot of things I won't even talk to my wife about. She knew I went certain places, but there may have been other places I went while I was at those places.
Right.
And to this day, there's things I won't talk about.
And can't talk about. That's
there are a couple of things I will say. There is, how they talk about in the CIA, and you got this black lines on some records. I do have a couple of records like that that are redacted.
Yeah, I was talking to Stan 3 about a few things today, and because he went there with me today, and yeah, it's yes, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. And right before we came on, obviously I was running a little late, and it is an emotional day for me. There's I actually, before the conflict started happening over in the Middle East, I had gotten out right before that, and before anything was really going on. And to this day, there's guilt about that. Like we were just kind of mentioning that, and it's that's that's just well, anyways, but somebody was bringing up family members, and that was another thing we were talking about today. I was talking to my granddaughters about it, and I was Air Force. My cousins, Michael Smith and Jerry and Joshua, they were Army, and they were actually over in Iraq and Afghanistan. They've got a lot of things that had happened and issues from over there. And my uncle Robert, he was in the Army. My uncle Anthony was in the Army. My uncle Paul was Army. Most of the family's Army. It was me and my grandfather Smith on my father's side. We were Air Force. My grandfather Barber on my mother's side, he was Army in World War II. He was kind of like a frontline medic type situation. And let's see, who did I forget? I know I missed some people in there, but
see, on my side it's a little different. I'm the first in my family on my side that ever joined. Now Nina's dad and brother both served in the Navy as well, but on my side I'm the first. So
I've got two of my mom's brothers were in, and my my dad's uncle was actually an admiral in the Navy. He retired and he passed away a few years ago out in Norfolk. But
And I know Daryl, you were mentioning talking about your father, and I know that's like I said, that if you served when your family served, because you went through some missing your dad and things like that, and it's
Well, he didn't get to serve, but my grandparents did. My grandfather on both sides. My father couldn't because of.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Well, he was flat-footed, and they didn't let people in back then that was flat-footed. Mm-hmm. So he did feel bad about that because, like, all of his friends went. They were all drafted, and when he went, they wouldn't let him go. But he was bitter at how people treated everybody that did go over into Vietnam. So yeah, it was. But he was, like I said, he was a true patriot. I'd say he to this until he died, Jane Fonda was on the blacklist with him. He just could not, man.
Yeah.
Now, if you come on TV, you knew not to even wait on Dad. You just went and changed the channel because it was going to go out in the yard.
Now, out of all those vets on here right now, Stan had it the easiest. We want to let everybody know that Stan had it the easiest. Being in the Air Force, their barracks where they stayed.
You want to know how many people? You want to know how many people reminded me of that today? Every Marine and everybody from the Air Force that I met. I mean, from the Army that I met today reminded me of that.
Their barracks where they lived when they were single is like a 5-star hotel. I'm just saying. Their galley and where they wouldn't eat at they got 4-course meals. I'm just saying.
Well, my nephew is a pilot in the military, so he's really got it made.
It was only 3-course meals, Freddie, and we did. The servers didn't. We had to wipe our own. We had to use a napkin and wipe our own face. It wasn't like it was.
Was it a hot, moist napkin they brought you?
Yes, yeah. They brought it to you. But,
and then Dustin being in the Army, the old saying is, you want to show the Army where the beach is, you just grab a handful of sand, throw it on anything. That's where they're going to jump at. So we're good with that too.
Here we go.
Well, the Navy stands for never again volunteer yourself. Well, I did it like 5 times over because I stayed in there 20 years.
You just didn't learn, huh?
I didn't learn.
Nobody told him that till afterwards.
Yeah.
Hey. How you doing?
She wanted to say hello to everybody.
Hi.
And you had a Veterans Day thing at your school today too, right? I heard that your whole school. What were y'all chanting today?
Go Navy! Go Navy! That's what I heard.
No, they were saying USA, USA, right?
Okay.
We're getting secrets. Got secrets.
I always thought if I went into the military, the one thing I didn't want to be was Navy because they ain't nowhere to run when you're on a boat.
Well, that's
they know where to hide.
And that's the assumption, me being a Navy guy, being on a boat. Out of 20 years, you would figure I'd been on a boat a lot, right? I spent 26 days on the Kitty Hawk. That was it.
Yeah,
I was in the aviation community for the most part, but then I had top secret security clearances and then had some specialty training that I did some other stuff with.
Yeah. See, my wife's cousin stays out. Like they'll go out and stay out for like 8 months or something like that and then come back. They stay out forever.
Oh, okay.
And then we said, and the last part I was like,
I've got a cousin that was in the submarines too. Man, that seems claustrophobic to me, but
and here's my 20 year right there. There's the 20 years right there.
Thank you for your service too, Nina.
You're very welcome. It wasn't easy.
My wife only did 4. Trust me, she'll agree with you.
My papa was in the Air Force. He's the only one. And actually my cousin too. My papa and my cousin. But my cousin got dishonorably discharged for falling asleep in the nuclear bunker. So
See, that's what I told you. Her
Um,
family's a little
And then I
nuts.
had one uncle in the
Remember how
army. My grandfather was in World War II as a cook in the army. And then the rest were all Navy, I'm pretty sure. My dad was in Vietnam for 18 months. So
Thank you.
there's a lot. My
Yeah,
brother actually decommissioned the Kitty Hawk. So he was in Japan for about 5 years, decommissioned
Wow.
Kitty Hawk. And then was on the Truman.
Tom says hi.
So hello, Tom.
So, like I said, the link is out in the description. If anybody wants to come up and any veteran wants to come up, you're more than welcome. Anybody that wants to come up and thank a veteran in their life, you're more than welcome to come up and say hello. That was I was kind of, like I said, and man, I tell you what, my granddaughters, that was a Tiny Smith there. She's in the elementary school still. So I went to the middle school where my older granddaughter was at. She was in chorus, so she was actually singing some of the songs. And
oh yeah, and you
They
kind of got to
did.
juggle which one you go to every year.
yeah,
For
but
some reason, they all have it at the same time during the day. Instead of like elementary doing it this time, middle at this time, high school, especially if you got multiple kids. They all
Yeah,
seem to
that
always
was-
want to do it at the same time.
thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda dropped the link again. And but at the they actually sang. Like I said, I was in the Air Force in the second half of the 80s, and for anybody out there that remembers, Lee Greenwood with the Proud to Be an American is when that came out. And when I was in basic training, our my drill instructor, he played that every single day. We started out with taps to get up, and then he played that through the barracks every morning and every night. Proud to be an American, and that is just what happened. That they happened to sing today. And man, you're talking about an emotional, like how music brings you back. Like I was right back in basic training, a 17-year-old kid, and
Speaking
Man,
of
it was-
music, Stan, Nina just stopped in. She's going to take along something to eat for dinner, but she wanted to remind me that you said music. Her dad was actually on the Midway when Elvis recorded his song on the Midway. He was actually
wow.
in that recording. In the
Wow.
Florida. So
Wow.
I do not, like I said, my extent on the Kitty Hawk was 26 days. We flew in our Spec War helicopters. They were doing some touch and go ops, and they asked us to do search and rescue if they needed to, if we had any ditches and dives. So it was there for 26 days while some, fresh pilots did their first touchdowns and takeoffs from the Kitty Hawk. So, no, but he asked what was I an operator. I'll just say I was in the Spec War field. We'll just
and
leave
of
it at
course,
that.
FOA says, "Did you know Ken Hoffman while on the Kitty Hawk?"
Yeah, I know that's what he was asking. Yeah, yeah. My MO, well, as the Army calls it, MOS. My title was logistics. Supply. However, with the other operational training I got, I had some specialized training, and like I said, I went to the Spec War field as logistics. So I had the best of. I won't say I had one of the best of both worlds, being the supply guy to get whatever we needed. So I got a little extra for myself all the time.
Of course.
Of this specialized equipment we needed.
And I was basically F-16 mechanic. But it was my actual title was let's see if I can remember it. F-16 Avionics Navigation and Penetration Aid System Specialist. There you go. That's
Whoa! This is a family-friendly show, there, Stan.
But I always volunteered. I never learned. I volunteered for everything. Some things were awesome, and some things were. I remember basic training, like the first couple of days in there, And those that know me, I used to be pretty good at bowling. I was a 200 plus average bowler, and so I'm a couple days into basic training, and still hadn't picked up on don't say anything unless you have to. Drill instructor asked, "So anybody out there like bowling?" And I'm thinking, well, hey, this is pretty cool. He's all right. He's giving us some respect. We're in here a couple days. We're doing. Sarge, I love bowling. I blah, blah. Well, great, Airman Smith. You should have no problem cleaning all those toilet bowls.
So you started it, Stan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But basically, I was an F-16 mechanic. At one point I was in charge of third shift, and that was when all your projects that couldn't be done during when you were trying to get the sorties done and the jets up and down. And so there was a couple times where we took every single panel that was on the jet off. And the way that works, we all know the military is hurry up and wait and document everything 3 times. So every screw that came off for every panel had to be wrote down that you took the screws off and accounted for that you took for just one panel. And there was panels all the way. So you had to do that. It was just to get things done was something. But
Stan went like blinker fluid a lot. Just let me.
Oh man,
ID10T forms.
Or did ID10T forms?
Our big thing was because I was jets, so our big thing was to go get a piece of flight line, because and then bolt stretchers. That was another one because we had 3. I was the 70th squadron, and we had the 68 and 69th. So you would always send your new guys over to like the 68th, go over there and get a bolt stretcher. So they go, yes sir, and you got it, Sergeant. They're running over there, and we need a bolt stretcher. So everybody's in on the joke. So then they send them over to the next one. They send them in a truck where he's got to go sign out the truck to go over to the other side of base. So then they're in on it. They send. So it was, colleges had nothing on the military. That is for sure.
I was thinking, the big wrench also said box samples.
Yep, exhaust samples and grid squares. Yep. Daryl's like, what? And my listening.
I'm just thinking. I was sitting here thinking, Stan's life in the military. They made a movie about it. No Time for Sergeants. Hello.
Woo! Look at that.
That was a heck of a funny movie back then. It's still funny today if you watch.
Speaking of that, like I said, I was a 13 Fox, which was a forward observer. So I told the big guns where to shoot. That was my job. Big Wrench said he was a paladin mechanic. So I told howitzers, 155 howitzers, and mortar crews where to fire their rounds at. That was my job, to go forward and find the enemy and get the grid coordinates and tell them where to put their rounds downrange.
Him was the smart one out of us, Stan. Him was the smart one.
Yeah, him's the smart one.
But like I said, I was at basic training on my 18th birthday. I made it to Fort Riley, Kansas, in December of '98. So 6 months of basic training in AIT. By June of 2000, I was an E5. So I was 20 years old as a sergeant.
Well, as you see from mine, I retired as an E6. I made E5 in the first 5 years and stayed E5 from year 5 to year 18. Wow. I made E6 with my last 2 years to go. But in the military, when you retire, it's your high 3. So 2 of my last 3 was at E6. So I got E6 retirement pay instead of E5. So I was happy about that.
Absolutely.
When I got to my
helped me so big.
When I got to my families everywhere, when I got to my permanent base, I was, talking with my friends outside, and I'm like, so, where's everybody go to, shoot some pool or darts or something like that? And just so happened that the E9 Chief Master Sergeant Shreve was walking by as I'm saying that, and he's like, "You play darts?" Yes, Sergeant. I'm just, yes, Sergeant, I do. Well, long story short, he was stationed in England, and when he came to Moody Air Force Base, he'd been trying to win the base dart tournament for like a couple years. Well, I happened to be pretty good at darts, and long story short, we won the Moody Air Force Base 88 intramural dart 501 dart tournament. Not only did we win, I had to win in shots. So needless to say, I had any issues with anybody. Hey, Walt, how's it going?
Hey, what'd you think about the summers in Valdosta, Georgia, Stan?
In chemical warfare gear, in the standing out on a flight line in August in Georgia. And for those that haven't worn that, that's a full gas mask, a helmet, your normal uniform, plus a charcoal suit over top of it. That my wife reminded me that she had to take care of her back.
Miss Diane, you tell him.
Freddie's like, you tell him, you don't have to do nothing.
103 degrees with 98% humidity, right?
Yo, without a doubt. And yeah, you're out there with all that on, and because it was when they simulated warfare, like they tried to really simulate. You were getting the sorties, or that's basically the plane's up. You get it fired up, it's down, it's reloaded with missiles and ammunitions. Any issues that happen are fixed, and it's back up again. And you kept track of how quick you could do it, and it was a whole thing. So
what's the Army guys saying?
They've already told me what they think of the Air Force. Okay. See, she said, "What the Army Navy guy is saying."
Well, the Navy guys, like I said, I retired out of Fort Jackson. That's all Army for the most part. Well, if you see my shirt,
basketball,
the very last 3-on-3 basketball tournament at Fort Jackson. This Navy guy might have won it and beat all the Army guys. Just say it. Oh, and I was a boxer. I did box a couple of matches. They were against Army guys, and I won all of them. And one real match. One had a couple sparring matches, but we had one full on match. I won all 3 rounds against an Army guy. He was a little bigger dude than me too. I'm just saying, I'm undefeated against Army.
I stood back and told the big guys where to punch.
And I've got that DVD with my boxing match somewhere in the house. One of these days, I'm actually going to cut in some of that.
It's in your DVD player that you still have.
Well, I've got one. Trust me, I've got one.
You just watch. He's got copies of it.
Look, I've watched that a couple times, and I'm like, what kind of punch was that, Freddie? What was that? And then I outscored him on all 3 cards, so it was a unanimous decision. So I was good with that. But
So wait. So the Army Navy, they're not saying, "Oh, bless his heart."
No, they said that earlier. You weren't up here for that.
Nice to have support, right?
What's that, Daryl?
It's always nice to have your family support you, right?
Oh, I'm telling you what.
Couldn't do it without him.
We all know Stan was in the Cupcake Force. We all know.
Yeah. The cloud sniffers.
There it is.
Every time I was out there running for my PT test, I'm like, man, I wish I was in the Air Force. I could ride a bike.
Yeah.
But no, they are kind of serious. Like when I went into basic training, I actually got cramps because my uncle was a drill instructor in the Army.
Just stop.
No, seriously. No, wait. No, my uncle was a drill instructor in the Army.
Giggling. It's hilarious.
No, wait. I got cramps the other way from not doing anything, not from not doing the physical.
Oh my God.
At the end of basic training, we had to run a mile and a half in 30 minutes, I think. And we had to do 30 push-ups and 30 sit-ups.
30 minutes.
I can walk it in 30 minutes.
No, you got an hour and a half to walk it.
Oh,
Yeah, but our jets would finish the job. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll handle it.
Yeah, they did their PT test on the back of a jet on a sled, and it just pulled them down.
How long was basic training? A week and a half?
Oh
Actual
my
training,
goodness.
yeah, for them guys, it was actually a week and a half. The other 7 weeks, they didn't do nothing but eat and sleep in these luxury motels. I'm just saying.
The first 3 days was filling out paperwork, right?
you got instruction. Make sure you bend at the knees.
Well, they
and
know
sit
where
with
to
your
put you.
Now, I did say that I was over in Germany for a little bit. We got, we got to go over there and
DUI.
a temporary
Staying at
duty.
the
And
Hilton.
at the
Stayed
same
in
time,
Germany.
yeah. Well, at the same time, there was army. There was an army base that had came in because everybody. The way that works is that every base in America's got separate bases in different parts of the country. That's kind of like their.
So you went to Ramsey.
If something happens, that's where that part of that base will be shipped across to wherever that base is at. And anyways, ours was Ramstein, but so there was Marines that went there, and there was Army that went there, and I believe there was even some Navy. Well, we got put up in base housing, which was like two. There was, I still had to share my room with somebody. They put two of us in a room,
Apartment?
So it was.
Hey, I want to say something. Rumor has it that the military wasn't near as tough as home life for you, Stan. Is that correct? I'm listening to the background. And I'm trying to figure this out. Military.
Of course, I'm having a little fun, but yeah. I'm considering that I'm still getting crap over here from my wife. Yeah, it's.
That's been the best. I ain't even had to pick on you that much.
Michelle, it's all mine. Michelle says, so does the fact that I raised two Marines make me tougher than all of you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, and now you got to deal with Tom too, so that adds a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level on top of that.
Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda's dropping the link again. If you're a veteran, like to come up on panel, or if you'd like to come up and thank a veteran in your life, there's the link. Yeah, you're more than welcome. And
Happy Veterans Day.
But definitely, yes, Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to I joke around about the Air Force, but that was just.
So do we.
Yeah.
I thought y'all said that the Air Force was a big joke, that you wasn't joking around about it. Which one is it?
No,
we're all in the back
wait a
together.
minute. We can do that up here together because we're on that. But that's one thing about the military. We all, when push comes to shove, we're all together. We all have each other's back, and
They don't have your back.
that's the Navy. Come on now, that's.
They don't have her back way back.
Way back.
But it's to keep Stan's wife from killing him. Ma'am, calm down, ma'am. It's gonna be okay.
We got Goober Time TV. Dan's out there. How's it going, Dan? Great to see you. Any fin is possible. We're in the community here. Great to see you. Thank you for coming in, my friends, and thank you, vets. Michelle says Tom doesn't scare me. Jeff Beals out there. We got the pleasure of Dustin. You got to fish with him for a little bit. I was there the one night. Great to see Jeff coming in.
Ed
Nina
in
will
here earlier.
remind me she's a better boxer than I am, and this is pretty true.
Woo! Oh, Brian B getting the shot in on the Army. I heard Army stands for ain't ready to be a Marine yet. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Well, you know, the Navy is the Marines' taxi. We take them in, drop them off, and pick 'em up.
What was we here to honor again tonight?
Oh my goodness! Woo!
And if I'm not
Now
mistaken,
we're
Now we're just gonna knock each other.
if I'm not mistaken, everybody that has to go through air assault or airborne school has to go through the Army to do it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's too funny.
What was Josh and Uncle Anthony
Army,
and Uncle Paul?
Army.
Yep.
Yeah. I get reminded all the time that most of my family was Army, and I took the easy way out. However,
Wait, no, never mind.
go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead, Dustin.
Never
Say
mind,
it.
So you could have been in the Coast Guard.
Oh, boom, boom, bam. That's right. However,
Gum infantry.
However, I just want to remind everybody that to get in the Air Force, you did have to score the highest ASVAB score. That was the test that you took to get into the military.
That's what
You
they
had to
told
score.
you.
That's what they told us.
And you scored one of the highest tests you can go in the Air Force.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a 97 on it.
Was that your IQ or your score?
Oh my goodness!
But
yeah, that's
knock me out. Just knock me out.
Oh no, that's fine. That's what that's what I wanted. That's what tonight was. You know, it's you know,
Terribly strange.
it's a day, but you know, you got to have it's Happy Veterans Day. We try to you know, it's because for a lot of us it is. You saw I've had to black out a couple times, and there's been emotions going all day, and it's good to laugh. It's good to laugh,
There are
and
some who are not left.
you know, not everybody has the luxury. There is you know, there is the sadder side of things, and you know,
But that's for
God
Memorial
bless
Day,
everybody.
Stan. That's Memorial Day. We're talking
I
Veterans
know,
Day.
I know,
We're
I
just
know,
honoring
I
and being
know.
happy today.
People get that messed up all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I know, and it's hard to think of one without the other, you know. And
You know, and that's a big thing. You know, a lot of people don't understand the difference in the dates. You know,
Right.
You know, Memorial Day, I walk around with his hat. Veterans Day, I walk around with his hat. You know, Armed Forces Service Day, I walk around with his hat. Every single one I'm gonna get stopped and thanked, and I always say thank you. And usually on Memorial Day, I'm like, but today's not for me or anyone else walking around right now as a veteran. I said, today, Memorial Day, is to pay homage and memory to the ones that we didn't bring home and we have lost and who have passed on. Veterans Day are for all of us, you know, the ones that are here and ones that are not here, the ones who currently serve, the ones who used to serve. You know, that's what Veterans Day is for.
Right.
And Armed Forces Service Day is for our active duty members. I shouldn't be getting thanked for my service on Armed Forces Service Day because that's for the guys and gals that are actually active duty at the time. So a little Freddie vent right there. So
Well, thank you for putting all that out.
He educated us.
just a little bit. But no, we appreciate getting thanked for our service. You know, if you see a veteran out there any day and you see him walking around with a hat that says retired veteran or a ship or an aircraft, or, you know, stop them and thank them regardless of what day it is. You know, that means more to them than just on certain days.
without a doubt, and
I know, Chrissy, you do thank me all the time. I love you.
but we are at 9:16, and it's not quite an hour yet because somebody was late.
I wonder who that was. 59 minutes and 20 seconds.
But Stan, I do got some good news today. On top of all this stuff,
You got Roger.
Let me put that. Let me put that on solo layout. Let's do a
They
little.
are completely done. They're getting wrapped and packaged as we speak. So the FOA rods should be coming in the mail to me and should be getting shipped out by Monday, Tuesday at the latest. So about 2 to 3 weeks after that. So if all goes planned, the week of Thanksgiving, I should have the FOA rods in stock and ready to go out the door.
Whoop, whoop.
Congratulations.
So that was great to get that email this morning from my manufacturer. Said, here's pictures of everything done. We're getting them wrapped and packaged and getting them ready to go. So that was even more exciting news on Veterans Day.
Well, and if you do happen to, if you do more than a thank you for your service as kind of like a passing thing, be ready for this because you will probably get that, especially from a lot of the older veterans. I shook a lot of hands today. I even got to stop a few minutes at a time for a good story.
There's not many stories I can tell. There's a few, but there's not many.
Yeah, like I said, I worked
I've had that tendency to somebody say, thank you, my da-da-da-da was in, and they were stationed here. I'm like, oh, well, I was stationed there at this time. This is what I kind of did. And I've had a tendency to stop and talk for 5 or 10 minutes to a total stranger. So
yeah. I was talking to Stan 3 about it today, and hey, there is Honolulu, our favorite. On the break and stopping in to say hello. Hello, Halana. Dan said his front yard is covered in snow.
Woo. Wow. It's getting to be that time of the year.
What is that? We don't have that in Georgia very often.
We get that down here about once every 5 years.
There's Scott Swift out there, Semper Fi. He's he served out there also, so God bless you, my friend.
Yep, and we want to make sure we keep him enjoying our prayers, because not today, but yesterday they had a family member that passed, and that's a sad day. So I want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Even though this is a celebration day, we always want to keep things like that close to the community, close to our heart. So make sure you say a prayer for them tonight.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's supposed to be Happy Veterans Day, but it is a mixed emotion day.
Well, no, it's really happy because we get to hear Diane in the background just rag you.
Oh, she's having a blast with that.
Oh, we are too.
I'm actually starting to feel a little sorry for him. I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you.
Hey, I said a little.
Yeah. Not just for now until next Saturday, which will bring us up to another topic.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'll feel sorry this much until next Saturday. Then that's all.
It is next Saturday, right? And for those that don't know out there, we are having the Battle of the Rivers. It is Team James River, which I happen to have right over here. Team Snag and Whiskers Dustin, who is the fellow James Riverin, up here with me.
Yeah,
is it the battle of the rivers? Is it battle of the river versus the river lock system?
There we go, Dustin.
I didn't call you a lake this time, Daryl. I called you a river lock system.
Battle of the lakes.
Look, I know y'all were technical in the military and everything had to be just perfectly done. This ain't no military function, okay? I can't help it if the people that built the dams on the Tennessee River can't figure out what parts of the lake and what parts of the river. So they just every dam system they call it, it ain't no river. They just ain't no.
You done hurt one of his feelings.
And we got Joy. Joy is out there also. Thank you for coming in tonight, Joy. And like we said, prayers. Definitely prayers out to you and Scott tonight.
And prayers for them tonight. But yeah. So then, not this. Well, this weekend on Sunday, you have the Technicat tournament on the Weekend Angler Josh's channel. So some of us is in that. So if you're not busy Sunday, come on out and watch us Sunday. And then like you said, the following Saturday it's the James
Tennessee River
versus
whooping up on the James River.
Oh, by the way,
James
Dustin, I was
River.
out. Stan 3 and I were out fishing yesterday all day. And by the way, Freddie, the big fish was caught on the FOA rod.
Oh,
It
go
was
figure.
about a 40-pounder.
On.
About a 40-pounder. I didn't have my phone. My phone was all messed up, and we couldn't even go live or take pictures. But I know Daryl's over there laughing. I forgot he was up here for a second.
Well, look, that makes it even more exciting to know that the rods are done and getting fixed and be packaged and shipped. So if they come in the week of Thanksgiving, it's going to be really bad because that Saturday after Thanksgiving, the Mini Cooper River is going to be facing off against the Ohio Lake system. And all I'm going to use that Saturday if I've got them are FOA rods. So it would be really bad if the Mini Cooper beats the Ohio using mini rods. I'm just saying.
Stan,
Well,
how can you bring up this fish you supposedly caught?
I know.
If you don't have pictures or video, it didn't happen.
Daryl, as soon as I said it, I'm like, you know what? I've been catching crap about the Air Force. Oh, Daryl's not letting this one go.
He said it was this big. It was this big.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the group chat called? Battle of the Pictures.
Yeah, that's true.
And he didn't even throw a picture in this one. Oh.
You got to catch it. I mean, look, for the last 3 months, him and Destin, all they've caught was frying pan-sized fish. So I don't even want to hear it. Y'all can gang up all you want to. Show me pictures, baby. Show me pictures.
Dustin showed that picture of about a 40-pounder at least right next to his boat.
Did you not see down at the bottom where it said 1978 when this fish was caught? It was marked, printed. He's pulled all his hair out trying to catch fish the last 3 months.
Well, have we or has it just been a ploy? We'll find out on the 19th.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have every excuse in the world. You got a blowed up motor. Then 3 Stan's going to be in a kayak. You got one guy that's never fished the river but one time. So I mean, they got they're fixed. They're getting their excuses set up perfectly.
Or is it
my motor blowed up 2 weeks ago and I hadn't been able to get one. Our guy that we had dropped out. We had to get a guy that had never fished the river. 3 Stands. The current was going the wrong way and the wind was blowing and he couldn't get that kayak rode out. Man, you got it going. Just keep
what
it going.
What size of shoe do you wear? Is it going to fit in your mouth?
No, Roger.
I told everybody in our chat, I said, if we lose, it's going to be bad.
Wait a minute. I gotta
when you lose.
I gotta get past my winning trophies here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There's the oh, my wife Diane's over there. What do you mean you're winning trophies? I caught the fish.
Well, she did catch all but one of them. I'm just saying.
2. I caught 2 of them.
Oh, okay, you caught 2 of them.
She let him catch 2 of them,
and
so he could say he caught 2.
Hey, Stan, this is a 72.9 flathead.
That was caught like 17
you got a
years ago.
catfish that big?
Oh, are we showing off?
let me put you on full screen. Oh, I must have hit the. I don't know what happened there. I must have
lost service.
I don't have one of those.
Flathead too at that now. 72.3 flathead. Beat that one, brother.
That's a good fish. That's a good fish.
That is a
Have
good
to wait.
fish. I'm just messing with you though.
Yeah, but if you only catch one of them and they catch 330s, they still beat you. Oops, did I put it out?
Oh wait, is this not Jody's tournament where flatheads count double? Oh, wait a minute! I gotta redo this. I thought it was double. I've been chasing flatheads for 3 weeks.
That's right. That's right.
I get you 15. I was like, "There's 30." It ain't like that.
And Dustin, I know you've been doing the flathead challenge on Jody's. You've been posting that for a while now. That is right. Remember, we're targeting blues during this competition here on the James River.
Oh, y'all gonna have the blues, all right.
Oh,
In the boat. Blue catfish in the boat.
We will see. We will see. I'm trying to add it up, Freddie. We're probably up to about 1,000 pounds on the FOA rods by now,
oh yeah.
which isn't bad. Isn't bad.
That must have been when they first come out 6 months ago.
Well, no, Stan 3 started out. He had an okay day. He started out with, I think, about 200 pounds.
He definitely.
Yep. He started out the first time he went out with it. I think he caught a mid 40, a low 50, and like a low 60. That first day. He went out.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad trial for him.
Only about 180 to 200 pounds on his first day using those rods. I'm just saying.
I think Freddie was scared to send them down here to us on the Tennessee River. He didn't know if them rods would hold these monsters down here because we catch them every day like that, not every month.
Muskrat Adventure says
I did send them to the Potomac and the Mississippi.
Didn't see none come down this Tennessee way.
I'm sure there'll be one down that way soon. I'm
Now,
just saying.
now, rumor has it that for the gathering, there's going to be some there.
Oh, there might be.
I will tell everybody out there, Freddie has been good enough to sponsor the gathering in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and his rods will be there, and we will be giving them away. So you guys make plans for that. Thank you very much, Freddie. His FOA rods will be there.
And since we are talking about Freddie right now, if you are looking for an FOA double Y rod, or if you are looking for one of these awesome, y'all thought I was going to put the sturgeon back up there, didn't you?
Why you got to bring that picture up?
Oh, I forgot that. Well, that was against Chad. That was, you did a great job. That was Chad. Or that one. If you've got a special memory that you want into some wood burning, contact Freddie with that. He's got the Flexi Cat. This was the trophies. You see that word right there? That's the trophy that we won for the couples tournament. And by we, I mean,
is that an actual size of catfish you caught?
No, I think that was larger than the biggest one that he caught.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty close. My wife was like, "Dan, we caught a lot of them, but I want to go catch a big one."
Don't put me full screen, please. Oh my goodness!
The chat's getting involved with the Tennessee Lake System.
It's the Tennessee Lake System. I'm just saying.
You know what's going to happen? Tennessee River team's going to lose, and Daryl's like, I live in Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I told him with Chat the other day? I said, they ain't got much sense anyway. I'm the only one that's fishing the Tennessee River, from the Tennessee River, and made me captain. I don't even live in Tennessee.
Well, the captain thing was kind of like, you do it. No, you do it. No, you captain. No.
That's like I pulled the short straw again, I felt like the guy that's trying to open the doors at Walmart on Black Fridays, and he goes, "I did it last year. It's your turn."
Well, how do you think I feel? Here in South Carolina, we got a couple of different river systems, and they picked Brian B picked the smallest one out of all of them to put us on. We're on the Cooper River. I think it's 48 miles long. Really?
You just need about a half mile if you find them.
So, that's the good thing. Being so short of a river, we ain't got a certain amount of area for them to be at.
Just seine them from one end to the other. I know you're old enough to where you seined when you was younger.
Mm-hmm. But you figured they would have used our bigger river like the PD, which is, it runs through North Carolina and South Carolina. But no, we went with the Cooper River,
But I hear Freddie, I hear you may have a surprise Joey.
They said we could have Joey's, and being that is a little bit of a drive for me. I may have talked my Joey into bringing their boat and Joey in for me, where all I got to do is drive down and get the boat. I'm just saying.
Are you taking or are you bringing a charter, or are you bringing a Joey? You make a guide?
Nope, no guide. No guide.
The guides and the tournament fishermen were banned.
I'm bringing a local Carolina boy that may or may not fish that area a lot, that has a bigger boat than me, a faster boat than me.
For safety reasons.
For safety. Yeah.
Hey, you might want to bring Stan. His motor's blowed up. I don't want him to have
No, it's not blowed up. It was just flooded out because I tipped it upside down when we had to unload our whole boat for Muskrat's challenge.
Oh, so now it's running again?
Yeah, but it's only it's only a little bit more than a trolling motor. Freddie had the twin to that. I think it was a twin, right, Freddie?
No, it was the baby brother.
Oh, baby brother, 1957.
Yeah, and well, actually, it'll be the older, smaller brother because mine's a 1953 5 horsepower.
Ours was the 57 7 horse, but
Shut up, Roger. Everybody knows who it is. Yes, it's Jeremy Tournament Cats. He's gonna be my Joey / fishing partner.
Wait a minute. Tournament. I thought nobody that fished tournaments could be in it.
No.
Well, then none of y'all could be in it then.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
The only thing that was said was they didn't want guides. That's pretty much every tournament because the guide's out on the river every day. So.
Oh wait, did that knock Daryl out of it when you said guide?
A guide.
Oh.
I take people fishing all the time with me, but I ain't no guide.
Stan 3 is out there. He says our motor runs. There you go. Our motor runs as good as Daryl can fish.
Oh, that ain't too good. It's beat up and
a
slow.
lucky fisherman's all I am. I fish on the Tennessee River where they jump in your boat. You don't have to put the line out.
Wait, we're not talking about the Potomac River.
Yeah, our catfish are like Asian carp when you go through there. They just start jumping in the boat. We don't even have to put lines out, man. We just hold up a bluegill and let it cut it just a little bit, and they'll just jump in the boat.
That's right, Steve. And that's what's awesome about, we were up here joking around back and forth about the different branches of the military and, cutting up and stuff. And same thing here. In the catfish family, of course, we're going to joke around and cut up and throw little shots here and there, but it's definitely much love. Much love for everybody out there, and that's what it's about.
Creole's not in the chat, is he?
No.
I was told if he was, just to say 8.19. That's all I was told to say. Just say 8.19 if he showed up.
8.19. That sounds familiar. Oh, I believe. Wait, isn't that how much the Mississippi River caught during the whole tournament?
It might have been, and it might have been from their bank angler out of all that,
Hey, Big Skip, and it's okay for everybody to throw shots at me. I throw one shot out there about the Mississippi, and Diane's like, "Wait, Creole's your buddy. What are you doing?" Everybody can throw shots at me. It's okay. That's no problem.
And that's right. 8.19 was the only fish caught that day by the Mississippi, I believe, by Danny Stone Outdoors himself.
That's right. And speaking of Danny Stone, a fellow veteran out there, so he's got some, definitely prayers going out for Danny. His mother passed last week, and so he's still, dealing with that. And so definitely prayers out to Danny, and he'll be back to his normal Danny here coming up in a bit, and it's good to see Big Skip out there. Big Skip Fishing's out there. S&T did his first live on Stand Day the other day, and then I think I saw him. I believe he fished Jody's challenge last night, right?
He certainly did.
So good to see S&T becoming a big part of the community out there. Always good to see Roger, your little brother. That's Troy. Everybody knows Troy. That's Troy's little brother, literally. Well, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Big Skip.
Yeah, I think we got
50 awesome people out there. If anybody has any other questions or anybody else wants to come up, we're probably going to be ending it in a minute unless Anybody else wants to jump up?
All day.
That's right. S&T, man, was he a trooper. He did his first live on Stand Day,
Oh,
and it was just pouring. You could hear it. and a big shout out to his technical advisor, his daughter, I believe it was, and she did a great job helping him out. LG Bass still out there. There's Lady Fox Outdoors. I think I said hello before, but definitely great to see Lady Fox.
Guerrero, what's going on?
Guerrero Bagre, how's it going, my friend? Great to see Guerrero.
Hey, that's what a catfish looks like. Look there, Stan.
What, Daryl? How do you know that this hasn't been just a long?
Yeah.
You know, Stan 3 even said it yesterday. I was like, man, I wish we could do that. We should take the. He's like, let them think we still aren't catching fish.
So Daryl, in other words, he might be saying they're catching them and taking them and putting them in a pen in the corner. So if they're all side by side in the video,
all right, where's that double Y rod? Where is that?
Here's the situation. They all four got look. They're all four got to share the same hose over there because they're all four. Ed's gonna have to go where they tell him, and Stand 3's and Stand 2. You know they fish the same spot, and Dustin's fish the same spot. They just take the same net and go up through there.
I haven't even fished my tournament spots in about 2 months.
Well, then you ain't too smart then.
I haven't even fished my tournament spots.
I didn't know if they were there or not.
Oh, they're there. They're there. Trust me.
Dustin's been fishing them for 6 weeks now and ain't caught nothing.
That's not true.
There you go.
That's all I caught the other day. That was just a sample.
There you go.
Oh man, I'm having fun, guys. I hope we all catch a bunch of fish and it comes down to like the last 30 minutes. That'd be fun. Yeah. It'd be nerve-wracking. I ain't gonna lie,
in the last 30 minutes when I was fishing, right?
Well, yeah, speaking of that, like that's usually when I'm in a tournament, that's usually what happens. If we're going to go back to the Monster Cat where...
what happened the last 8 minutes do you stand during that?
Where'd he go? I'm going to...
Put him on full screen like you did me, Stan.
Oh, I was trying to find it. I was going to... Gosh darn it.
Look, Miss Diane took care of him and got him out of that second place slump and got him a win. And then he goes back out without her and goes back down to second place. I just don't know.
We know who you should have as his joy on the boat. That's all I can tell you.
You never know.
What happened to the next one?
Oh, there's Stan 3. He's laughing about it.
Stan's been in here a while, yeah. I've been reading his comments. I've just been keeping quiet.
But I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing about the monster hunt. I went all the way up to Lake Gaston for the kids tournament and the monster hunt and caught one fish on each tournament. That was it. But I did catch the first fish during the monster hunt. I'm just saying, we did catch the first fish for that tournament.
Hey guys, we did something that nobody ever thought for the kids tournament. Who would have thought that the Tennessee River, me and Woody in the boat with his son caught the smallest fish?
I know.
Thank you. The small fish.
Wait, I want everybody to see Lady Fox. Thank you so much. I agree, Lady Fox. I don't know why. Poor little me. Everybody's got to throw shots at poor little me.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just a sensitive person. I agree. Thank you so much.
It's just the Air Force to me.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He had to get off his head,
I got me in a coughing fit with that one. Oh, back to the Air Force again.
Daryl, you're going to have your hands full by yourself with all your joys. I crippled up. I know. Woody Sugar's been up to 400 the last week and a half. Poor old Roger, or not Roger, Russ has had bicep reattached to his arm. I've been having to go fishing by myself lately. God, that's hard. I can't find nothing.
Oh my goodness. So just to wrap up the Battle of the Rivers, right now you've got the Potomac River, they're into the second round. The Mississippi is still hanging in there.
They're out of it.
Because to go to round 2, there has to be 4 teams. So you've got an even. We'd have 2 matches for round 2. So out of the losing teams, it's whoever catches the most weight out of the losing team. So as long as the Tennessee River catches more than 8.19 pounds, or you've got the Ohio versus the Cooper.
As long as the Ohio beats more than 8.19, one of them two will get in.
So out of the 2 losing teams of those matches, all they got to do is catch more than 8.19 pounds, and the Mississippi is out.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was surprised. The Potomac River averaged almost 17 pounds per fish.
Yep.
That I would have never dreamed that. I thought they would catch some 10, 12, a lot of 8, 10, 12 pounders, but they averaged out of 4 different boats or whatever, which they almost 17 pounds. I was like, wow, that's good.
This skip is
Brian B.
actually
actually caught some fish from his boat. I'm just saying, I'm pretty impressed with that alone.
Yeah.
Woo. We got another storm coming through here. Probably hit you pretty soon, Dustin. It just started pouring here again. Big Skip is saying who all is on the Tennessee River team.
Bumping Bobcat, Pontoon Jody, and Brandon Fishizzle, and then myself, Trophy Seekers Outdoors. That's our team. We all fish a little differently, and when I was thinking about teams, I was like, heck, I'm going to pick teams where everybody does a little differently, and then if somebody can find something that's working, we can tell each other, type deal. So we all fish a little different.
Hey, Sweet TV, good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Of course, I've been a little different all my life. What Mama said.
And
did the James River actually get a full team now?
We've had a full team. It's just a matter of
They just got their final member 3 weeks ago, and he's only fished the James River 2 weeks ago for the first time ever. Now, is that the truth or not?
Well, yeah.
But at least,
However,
but at least he's fishing the river.
There you go.
You see, but I was gonna have Freddie come up, but I knew the Cooper River, so I let Freddie go down to the Cooper River. I didn't try to ask him. Freddie, we've seen the fish that Freddie and Nina catch up here. They've caught some big, beautiful. Matter of fact, we've got a whole section of the river named after Freddie Point. So, but we understand that the Cooper River's a little. But we have Nina. Nobody wants to hear that, Nina.
And then the following weekend after y'all get done, we got the Ohio and the Cooper, which the Cooper has our team, our head coach, Palmetto Cats, Kevin. And then
who has been catching. Big shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, he's been on some 40-pounder the other day. So
he's been on some fish. He's exploring some different sections of the river, and he's definitely been catching some fish.
He's definitely been putting the work in, and try to find us some areas. Since I'm a couple hours away and can't get down there as much. So you got Kevin Palmetto Cats. You've got Jimmy from the old Santee Drifters. I can't remember his name now, but Jimmy, the owner of Santee Drifters when it was.
Jimmy Smith.
And then you've got Kevin Canby Anglers is coming up as the third boat, and then good old Freddie pulling up the rear as the 4th boat on our team and our.
What are you grabbing?
Freddie's bringing out the gun show.
And then we're going against the Ohio lake system, and then I think Roger's got his team. The coach, team captain Muskrat Roger. I think he's got a team, but I'm not sure if he's got a team. All I remember is he posted like Facebook messages and want ads and some
Well,
Yeah.
friends.fish.com and everything else trying to get a team, you know.
hey, Freddie, I heard if he don't have a force member, that there's a traveling fisherman that's going and fishing on different teams. They might could use his name's Ed.
Hey, now here's what it is. Ed Evans, he just came down to just get a refresher course. He does a lot of flathead fishing. We've seen how much he knows about fishing on the Pontoon Jody Flathead Challenge. Don't worry about him. He's going to do all right during that. And then, of course,
speaking of Ed Evans, he when he was fishing with us, he saw how wholly inadequate we were with our nets. So I would say we're doing an unboxing tomorrow.
uh-oh.
That's not going to be big enough to become Tennessee River.
Yeah, okay.
You better get you one of them monster 150s.
I would.
That's a waste on Tennessee.
There has been a lot fewer people fishing the James River on YouTube, but I'd venture to say that we have probably caught even more weight than the Tennessee has caught this year on live. I don't know what you're laughing at. You just don't watch. I went back to March, and I just watched a March where one of our videos in March. I was going back through, and there was multiple times this year on lives where our 3 big fish were 150 pounds or more.
Now
hooking onto a barge does not count as weight. I'm just saying.
Well, you said live. Let's do let's go live or production videos and see.
No, let's just go live because wait, isn't this going to be a live tournament? There's only 5 hours to catch these fish in. I'm just saying, a production video, you can have a whole week of crappy fishing and, take one from Tuesday, one from Wednesday or Thursday or Friday and put a little video together. But when you're live fishing, there's no editing. You're just, there you go. Thank you.
Would you
I
agree. To go back to the Winter Blues and see would he catch those 2 big 50s on the Winter Blues contest and would still come in 4th place because it was a numbers tournament, not weight.
All you caught was 2.
Well, then you didn't understand
7, but
you didn't understand the assignment. Then you didn't understand the assignment.
You even started out really early on the James this year when me and Nina came up and she catches a 46, I catch a 22, and we catch 15 or 20 in the upper teens, low 20 range.
Wait, I wasn't talking about everybody else's boat. I was talking about my boat, brother.
We were on Freddie Point. We wasn't even on the boat.
That way. Y'all trying to tell me?
Oh.
There you go, Jeff.
Then we got jokes again. Y'all gonna tell me y'all hadn't been watching Bob catching 50-pound fish every dang week?
Look, it's the same fish. He's just photoshopping it and keeping it alive while throwing it on the line and rebumping it. I'm just saying.
I've also seen Bob skunk too.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, but not next Saturday. It's gonna be all
You hope.
I hope we all catch fish. Like I say, you never know. I never do good on live fishing shows. I've never won, I've won on Jody's, but that's the only ones I've ever won. I've come in 2nd and 3rd, but I've never won tournaments except for on Jody's. I've won hers. I've fished it 4 times and I've won it 3 times. So
that's because nobody else is fishing it but you, Daryl. Come on.
Huh?
Ask him about the time that Roger was on his boat.
Yeah. Well, so that was Roger.
On whose boat?
And
Dustin spanked Roger that night. I can't believe Roger let Dustin come up and spank him. I mean, beat him like a dang stepchild, boy. I was like, Roger, you're going to have to start catching some fish. I'm just sitting back here watching you, and you're just not doing it right.
And as far as catching a pretty good, let's see, we were just talking about the Potomac River, who had a commendable 190 something pounds for the 4 anglers.
That's awesome.
Daryl, it wasn't too long ago on the Pontoon Jody Challenge that your 3 big fish were, what, 100 pounds maybe? Somewhere in that?
I don't know. I don't know. But that's just
Dustin,
my
I'm,
boat.
I'm,
That's
I'm
just
sorry,
my
Dustin.
boat. That's one boat. We got
No,
4
I'm
that's gonna
talking
be
about Dustin. Dustin,
Yeah,
when
but all,
you know,
all 4 boats have got to catch big
Talking
fish.
about my birthday night,
your yeah, that was it, the birthday night.
He caught what, 150 something pounds that night?
156 pounds that night by
Yeah.
myself.
Have you ever
4
did that
hours.
before? Had you ever done that before?
Yeah, the time before that when I caught the 204 pounds of fish.
I thought you said that you caught those were your PBs the night you caught them all.
That was the first night was my PBs. The next time was by myself. I broke my PB again.
Oh, I wasn't there that night.
You see, we're finding out now. Daryl.
Well,
Daryl
hey,
just,
if we're gonna get technical, how many have you won at Pontoon Jody's contest? Is there, Mr. Destin?
2.
Oh, how many have I won?
I've only been in 3.
How many have I won?
You said 3, right? But you've been in 4.
Yeah, that'd be about. That'd be
So
about right.
percentage is about the same.
That'd be about right.
No. Your percentage ain't the same. No.
But I ain't won nothing else. That's the bad
It's about 67% for you, Dustin.
I said
2 out of
about,
3.
Freddie.
And for Daryl,
And I'm
that's
3
like
out of 4.
75%.
I said about, Freddie.
67
Enough with the
versus
maths.
75. That's not really that close. Might
Look,
be
I
in
was in the
horseshoe.
Army, okay? Close is
but of course, as always, we got to get to Bustin' Bananas because this is a live tournament coming up here next weekend. The Tennessee, I think it's going to be, it's going to be.
I think it's going to count. You're going to have over a 250-pound bag for the winning team. To be honest,
I think so. I'm predicting that you're going to see. Hopefully, if things go right, you'll see over 500 pounds of fish caught that day.
no, that's when the Cooper beats the Ohio. We're going to have 500. Ohio's going to have like 50. It's going to be a slaughter fest. Just say.
I want to make a couple rules. Jody, first of all, Jody can't sleep during the tournament.
Why not? Because if she sleeps 4 hours, she's only going to catch 1 fish when she wakes up.
No.
Yeah, but if it's a 60-pounder, hey.
And nobody can bet her.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things.
Oh, they're already scared making up stuff that you can't do.
You know, it's
I
always
just hope
Jody
she gets the real hung in her hair because that makes her mad and she starts catching.
It takes her a while to get it out, though, until she just yanks it out.
There you go.
That's what the James is hoping. Jody throws one rod out, gets it stuck, throws another one out, gets it stuck, and then she's stuck there for 3 hours getting those 2 out, and then does it again, and it's over.
Here, Steve Ransom said it perfectly right there. This is going to be Ed Evans' second trip down to the James River. Steve Ransom has had his second trip to the James River, and you see that fish there in his picture, right? Just saying.
All I know is I feel like my teammates have just abandoned me. They ain't none of them.
Yeah.
I'm just like here by myself.
Oh, speaking of Ed Evans.
He wanted to remind you, Daryl.
Hey, but you're not on the panel, brother. You better get on. I didn't know he was there. Dang it.
Now you know how I felt earlier, Daryl, with the whole Air Force gang up thing.
I'm not sure which way Freddie's going. He's on one guy 1 minute, another guy next minute. I'm like, well, he was my friend 5 minutes ago. Now he's killing me.
There you go, Muskrat. There you go, Roger. Roger says, so what you're saying is I need to come back for my second trip to the James River to catch big fish. That's true.
That's the only way that Ohio's going to do any better is to go to another river system. Just saying.
Oh no, Miss Chrissy, come on! You got to stand behind me on the Ohio trip too. We got to take it off.
Yeah, you had Chrissy till in case you happen to go against the Ohio.
The bad
Which
thing
that's
about
us,
Ohio,
and then,
Fishing for fun on that one.
the bad thing
They
about
don't get
Ohio, it's a
challenging
coin flip. Whether they will, the fish are
Well,
biting that day or they're not.
There's only one person on the team that catches big fish on the Ohio, and that's J-Dog, and they catch the same fish every 6
3
months.
times. Yeah.
But I mean, what's their average? And I'm not trying to throw off on them. It's just a bad situation. What's their average of going out and catching fish versus going out and getting skunked? And I mean, there's just a lot of times that the fish ain't biting on there.
I
And
think they
sometimes,
catch fish like 14% of the year. You know,
it's
something
like
that.
It's like on or off with them up there. It's crazy. So
yeah, and you can't. They've got a bad situation with the commercial fishermen there with the nets and stuff. You know that decimates a river.
we have commercial
especially
fishing
something
on
like that.
Tennessee too. People don't know it, but the Tennessee River's commercial fished also. But
Yeah,
it's
but
for
y'all got too
restaurants.
many lakes in there to help.
Right.
The
This
fish
is
hide
for
and stuff.
they're fishing them for restaurants though. So
But so now we have gone, wow, hour and 40 minutes. That flew by. Since there seems to be no other questions or nobody else that wants to jump up, we are going to jump out of here. Make sure you check out the Tacticat this weekend. You've got on the 19th, you've got the Tennessee River against the James River. Woo, yeah. And then on the 26th, you've got the Ohio River, the Ohio River versus the Cooper River. There you go. Stan 3 says 67% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
is it that low?
But
I
no,
wish all
seriously.
you guys luck for sure. I think we're gonna have fun. I mean,
Absolutely,
man. If the biggest mouth wins, it means Stan's gonna have a battle that nobody will ever want to walk away from.
You can't have a tie, so one of you got to talk longer than the other. It might be a long day. I'm just saying.
I have talked live for 40 straight hours. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, shut up, Stan. I got a fish on finally. He'll be explaining how long it was and how wide it was and what kind of slime was going down the side of it.
And I'll be talking long enough for Freddie to make a wood burning of it.
Those don't count. Hey, have I not shown you? This is what you have to catch. Okay, these are catfish. I know what you got, Whisker. See, there's catfish.
There you go. There you go.
And where'd you catch those at, Freddie?
This one came on the James.
Uh-oh.
This one came on Lake Wilson.
Man.
Which is also
one came from the Tennessee River, and one came from where? The James. Just saying.
So they both came out of the state of Virginia. I'm just saying.
But anyway, again, happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Thank you for everybody's service. You know, we kind of got joking around and having some fun here at the end with the rivers and catfishing, but today was about thanking all the veterans, thanking all the families, thanking everybody out there. You know, God bless America. I put the Pledge of Allegiance out in the description for a reason, because I do pledge allegiance to that flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I truly, truly believe in that every single day of my life. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. God bless America. Deuces. We'll see y'all soon.